Welcome back to Newfoundland. We're here again with Brazil Travel News. Steve McIntosh here, taking you for a hike now today. Earlier in the day, we drove by Springdale and Kings Point on our tour of Newfoundland. We stopped in a Kings Point pottery shop, which has some really cool, locally made, culturally significant artwork that's kind of like ocean-themed art. Very cool stop. We drove to the end of the road after stopping and seeing some icebergs, and we got out of the car now and we're walking along this beautiful trail. Easy level difficulty, a nice flat trail, well kept, but the scenery, you would think you had to climb a huge mountain to get to where we are. The scenery is beautiful. We've been following some moose tracks. Now we're just following them right down to the ocean. The reward at the end of these 2 kilometers of hike is this nice vista that we're about to get rewarded with. A rocky beach looking into the northern Atlantic Ocean. And what's beautiful, so nice about this time of year, because you get a lot of snow here in the winter, which is amazing, it compacts down and it takes a long time to melt. So in the spring, like we are now, you get nice warm temperatures, warm on your face, but you get to walk on this beautiful crisp snow. You don't get your boots muddy, it's very nice, and you get to see some cool stuff like icebergs too. This is iceberg season. Amazing, guys. Otherworldly, very inspiring. Follow me down. Tourism season starts in late spring in Newfoundland and peaks around August. It's still great to visit a little bit earlier, that way you can see the snow and there's not as many people around. It's also easier to rent hotels and book vehicles because there's less demand at that time of year. However, the later summer and fall is also beautiful. If you plan on coming at those times, be sure to book in advance to make sure that you have great hotels to stay at and also a good vehicle to use while you're here. Something amazing here right now, and which I've noticed on some hikes, I've been noticing, wow, these trees don't look very tall, but they're mature trees. In fact, we're standing on a few feet of snow. Right now, if my foot was to go down to the level of the ground, it would be up to my hip in snow. We're standing on a very thick layer of snow that elevates us up into a higher level of canopy within the forest. So it's like walking by trees, seeing a part in the summertime, this would be much above my head, and I'd be seeing more of the trunk of the tree. In the wintertime, you're elevated up on top of this thick layer of snow, which is so cool because I feel like I'm seeing a whole different part of the forest at this different level of elevation. Very cool. The snow changes with the different temperatures throughout the season. Right now, this snow is old, compact, and very big granules. You could eat this. It's just like, you can make a drink out of this. I bet you it'd be good. Now, when I was in school, we used to make snowballs out of some of these. You can make a nice snowball, chuck it at your friends, have a nice snowball fight. The snow changes as the temperature changes. You can go skiing on some types. You can just walk on other types. Some types are very soft and powdery, like icing sugar, where you need to wear a big shoe. We call them snowshoes. Like a big tennis racket on your foot, and they help you stay on top of the snow. When you have a smaller foot, you sink down because your weight is on top of a smaller surface area. If we look down right here, we can see some tracks going deep into the snow. These are actually moose tracks. Moose are very big animals. When you see them in person, they are huge, let me tell you. And they're a little bit scary, but don't worry, they're pretty docile. And if you give them the respect, they respect you in return. But we can see moose when they're out in the wild here. Their tracks are very obvious. They've got like a hoof, and it goes deep into the snow. But they're developed perfectly for this type of environment. They've got long legs, and they can thrash right through the forest amazingly quickly. Perfectly adapted, majestic animals. Very cool to see. the elements out like this, and as humans, how difficult it can be, and how much gear sometimes we have to navigate through different types of environments in the snow. But when you see these animals that are adapted for it, you really start to appreciate the different types of adaptations we see in nature and how they can survive in these conditions. Truly amazing. Got a couple nice moose tracks here. Unmistakable. For sure there was a moose that walked right down this same trail, maybe even today earlier. Going down to check out the beach like we are right now. Come follow me. Let's see if we can see an iceberg.